Hi, everybody, and welcome to OJT Talk. So, as you can see, Lydia and I have two special guests today. So, one is my daughter, and I guess since I said one, you guys know that's her and not Lydia, but that's Alexa and Felipe. But before we get started today, I'm just gonna go around the table and I'll start with Lydia so you guys can learn, the new viewers can learn a little bit about us. Lydia?
So my name is Lydia, and I am an Air Force vet, just like Miss Vonda. But I'm an Air Force vet. I've been married 25 years, have 5 kids that are grown. And I love football, but I really love music. And that's pretty much what I'm doing today is watching football with my hubby.
Nice. Alexa?
My name is Alexa. I am Vonda's daughter. I used to be a teacher, but now I'm a full-time tutor. I do a lot of test prep, so if you need any tutoring, hit me up. My mom looks like she wants me to say that I went to Columbia University. I love dogs, and that's about it.
Awesome. Felipe?
Hi, everyone. My name is Felipe. I am an entrepreneur who loves cryptocurrency. Hobbies. I have an eclectic mix of hobbies. I went to Columbia as well, so I'm actually dating Alexa Evans. We've been dating for a long time. So, yes, I have a lot of hobbies that I'm interested in, but everything is very random. But I like cryptocurrency and I like business. So, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Felipe, and thank you, Alexa. Lydia and I are very excited that you're on. So today we're going to be talking about being vegan, the vegan life. Alexa and Felipe are both vegan. So she's my daughter. She wasn't raised that way. So I'm going to actually toss it off to you guys. And really quickly, I have discovered that there are a lot of people that equate being vegan to being vegetarian, but there's a difference. So can you guys just right off the bat explain the difference really quick?
Alexa, do you want to take it?
Sure. So vegetarian just means that you don't eat meat. So you can still eat cheese, eggs, drink milk, and other dairy products. Vegan means you don't use any animal byproducts at all. So no meat, no dairy, no cheese, no honey, all plants.
Yes. So as a vegan, there's a shirt that we recently saw. If it poops, like we don't eat anything that poops. So as a vegan, that's the law. So if it poops, you don't eat it.
Okay, so with COVID-19, what about like medicines or vitamins? Are there special ones that you have to take, or it doesn't matter for that?
I mean, I think it depends on the person. The only thing that I take is B12 and vitamin D. And
Okay.
for those, I just get a vegan version that doesn't contain any gelatin or anything like that.
Okay.
But for medication from the doctor, I mean, I personally will just take whatever they give me.
Okay, gotcha. So for supplements, they do have variations. Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So Felipe, how long have you been vegan?
It's been over 9 years now. So
wow,
it's been a
almost a
while.
decade.
So 2011, I went vegan in September. So just over 9 years. So yeah.
And Alexa, how about for you?
It'll be 7 years in January.
That's a lot too.
So have you guys ever slipped up and cheated?
No. People tend not to believe that, but your body just changes. I mean, if you do something for a long period of time, it kind of rejects what you haven't been doing recently. So, like, no, there have been no slip ups on my end.
Well, I won't say that we've never slipped up. I mean, if you don't read the label carefully, there are instances where maybe they put milk in a product and you didn't read carefully, but just cheating intentionally,
No.
I would say we haven't done.
And you know what, Felipe, I can relate to that because I was pescatarian, but after Hurricane Michael, when foods were limited, I had tried to eat some things. Beef, I can't do. I don't eat any beef at all. I don't know, the smell, the thought, I can't do it. Steak, whatever, I just wasn't able to go back to make that transition. So, Felipe, what you said makes sense. I guess the longer you do something, some things you just can't go, you don't have a desire to ever go back to. So, and Lydia, before I ask my next question, did you want to ask anything?
No, I just have heard that from a lot of my vegetarian friends and vegan friends that I have. They say the same thing. They just can't stand the smell, and even just the taste of it, it tastes weird. It doesn't taste like what they remember. You know what I mean? Or your taste buds change too. So that's
Yeah.
from what I heard. But I'm not a vegetarian or vegan or pescatarian, so I don't have that personal experience. But yes, I'm just confirming and saying, hey, yeah, I understand because I heard that too.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how hard, okay, so Felipe, 9 years for you, Alexa, 7 years for you. So obviously you guys weren't raised to be vegans. How hard was it to make the transition? And what made you both decide to make that transition?
I guess I'll go first. So I've been vegan for 9 years, but it's not like I just turned on the switch and went vegan. So like this has been a longer than 9 year journey. I would probably have to say maybe 11 years. So
Okay.
I went from eating meat and I slowly started taking things out of my diet. Went pescatarian, went vegetarian, just started slowly removing foods until I made that switch. So I just didn't flip the switch. It was a gradual process. And when I felt like I was comfortable, then I took that plunge. I'm not sure if I remember the first part of your question. Did you say that, like, how difficult was it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah. So it wasn't, it wasn't the hardest thing in the world. I would have to say that 9 years ago, it was harder than it is now to go vegan. I feel like there were less options available, but I was in college. It's not like I had a job, so I could focus on getting the nutrients and food that I needed. And so that flexibility allowed me the time to really research and figure out exactly what I wanted to eat when I wanted to eat it.
Okay. Alexa?
For me, I actually went vegan after I met Felipe in college. I watched a few documentaries about it, specifically Cowspiracy and Forks Over Knives, and I just decided for the health of the planet and for someone who claims to love animals, it was a little hypocritical to be eating them. I decided that I should be vegan. And it wasn't a difficult transition at all. I just did it overnight. And I was in college, so I was on the dining plan, and there were options in all of the dining halls. And there were also a ton of vegan restaurants in New York. So it wasn't difficult for me.
Okay. So, and both of you are Black. So how much criticism, how did you guys get criticized? Because it's like, oh, you're not vegan, you're Black. I know you eat pork chops. I know y'all eat fried. Come on. I know y'all ate that Popeye's chicken sandwich. Like, how did you guys experience any of that, or none at all? Your circle was very supportive.
No, my circle was not very supportive. I mean, there's a certain level of ignorance, and
Right.
I think it transcends color. So, white the white community can be just as ignorant about veganism as the Black community.
Okay.
But, you know, I feel like as you, like, the different type of people that you expose yourself to, like the people that have more of an interest in that, I mean, they live a different lifestyle. So, but I wouldn't say it's like just a black and white thing, because there are a lot of Black vegans as well, but they're in different kind of circles. So it's not you're necessarily the same circle you grew up in. But I mean, if you look at like Jamaicans and the Rasta movement and stuff like that, they really believe in plant-based diets and really eating what comes from the earth. So I think it's just like the communities that you find. There are certain circles that it's just frowned upon more than others. But yeah, I mean, that was my experience. But I find ignorant vegan comments on both sides.
Alexa? Oh, go ahead, Lydia.
I have a question. Is it expensive?
Alexa, you want to take that?
Sure. I mean, it can definitely be expensive if you are going out to vegan restaurants all the time, or if you're buying all of these substitutes. So the fake meats, the fake cheeses, all of that can definitely be expensive. But if you're just eating like produce and grains, then I don't think it's very expensive.
Okay. And Alexa, you want to follow up on the question I asked?
Sure.
Okay.
So my inner circle was very supportive. I mean, I was living with you for a time, and you cooked me vegan meals, and you switched out to vegan butter, and
I still use it.
yeah.
Remember I sent you a picture?
Yeah. So yeah, I think my family and friends were very supportive. And I mean, I can only think of one comment when I was in Mississippi teaching. There was only one white student at my school. Everyone else, the staff and all of the students, were Black. And I remember I took a little quinoa and bean dish for lunch, and I was warming it up in the microwave in the teacher's room. And someone comes in, she's like, "Oh, what's that?" And I said, "It's quinoa." She's like, "Oh, isn't that white people food?" And I'm like, "Well, no, because I'm eating it and I'm Black." She's like, "Oh, I didn't mean that." I'm like, "Yeah." So yeah, that's the only comment I can think of.
Yeah. So things like that do exist.
Yeah, but Mississippi is an exception because, you know, they're living like 40, 50 years in the past. So once they catch up, then we have to put them on the same standard. But
Okay, gotcha.
until then,
They get a pass.
And
There's some good parts in Mississippi.
that's right. There are.
Mm-hmm.
We know of at least one good place. So, Felipe, when the first time you came, you know, to my home, how do you think I received you as far as you being vegan?
I think you received me very well. Like, you didn't make a mockery out of it, because I know some people can. And, you know, I don't think that's cool at all. Like, you know, just not taking it seriously at all, or saying like, "Oh, you know, I put this in your food and you didn't taste it." You know, like that kind of stuff you really accepted it and you were understanding of it. And I mean, you did your best to make me feel comfortable, which you did. And I think that's great. And I thank you for that.
Thank you, Felipe. So, is there anything that would ever make you guys like transition back? Can you think of anything that would make you say, "I'm done with this. I'm going back to eating the animals that I love so much"? I mean, or like, is this it? Is this a permanent way of life?
It's permanent for me, at least. I mean, there are so many substitutes now. Just the other weekend, Felipe and I went to this little food truck, and we got like vegan chicken, and we had collards and yams, baked beans. I mean, there are vegan substitutes for everything now. There's no reason to eat animals.
And vegan bacon is good.
You do like the vegan bacon.
I do like the vegan bacon.
Vonda likes bacon.
It's yeah,
All types of bacon.
yeah, it's quite except for turkey bacon. It's quite tasty, you guys. So if you ever want to, if you ever want to try it. So cooking.
Mm-hmm.
How often do you guys cook?
Every day.
I mean, cook. Using the stove, cook.
Every day.
Every day.
Awesome. So you guys use, like, you do a lot of people, you guys do a lot of literally homemade fresh vegetables or utilizing rice cooking.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah, we eat rice, if not every day, most days.
Yeah.
So is it harder cooking being vegan versus not being vegan?
I mean, I wasn't really cooking before college, so
true.
I've really only cooked as a vegan. But I think it's easier because I feel like cooking meat, you're not sure if it's done. Like you have to check the internal temperature.
Yeah.
And you have to watch out for salmonella and all that. But for vegetables, you're good.
Okay. Do you have any favorite, or I won't say favorite, it could be a favorite, but a quick and easy tip that you guys would like to share in case there's somebody who's thinking about it or they've thought about making the transition? Oh, and before you answer, I know one thing I want to say. I had several people, I won't out them, but several people, when they found out that my daughter was vegan, they were like, oh, but her health is gonna, is gonna be so bad. She's missing nutrients. Let me tell you guys, you don't know how happy I was when Alexa got lab work done. And Alexa, how did it come back?
It came back amazing.
Exactly. So I guess people, no matter what it is that you want to do, sometimes there's always going to be somebody in the background just to try to tear you down. But yes, Alexa and Felipe both are very, very healthy and they have lots of energy. But okay, now with the little tip, I don't know if you have if you got both of you, if you have any tips that you'd like to pass on.
I just wanted to say something quickly to your last point, though.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a lot of propaganda that's been pushed by the meat and dairy industry about how not eating meat you should look like. So there's this stigma that, you're vegan or vegetarian, your bones are going to be falling apart, you're frail, you're brittle. I just got my lab work done. It's perfect. My protein levels, everything that you could think of is fine. The biggest animals on our planet, gorillas, giraffes, elephants, they don't eat meat at all, and they're gigantic and they live perfect lives, with the exception of getting killed in battle or something like that.
Right.
But yeah, I think it's propaganda pushed forward. So
Okay.
I think that stigma needs to change. But yeah,
I agree. I never even thought about it from that standpoint, Felipe. But that makes a lot of sense. That's a very valid point.
I do know some chunky vegetarians.
oh, of course, yeah.
I know. So just
there's a lot of junk food out there. It can go wrong for you too. You have to. It's veganism is not like health. Like you have to choose a certain foods that you want to eat. I mean, you could be eating potato chips all day. You're definitely not going to be healthy. So you got to pick and choose what you're going to eat. So
And that's
from anything.
You know what? That's true. Now I did when after I went pescatarian, I did slip, like I said, but I never went back to eating beef. I just can't. Ground beef, any kind of beef, I just can't do it. But one thing I gave up that I won't do is sodas. I do not drink any sodas at all. Regular diet is not going to happen. And when I gave up sodas, well, first I switched from regular sodas to diet sodas, then my doctor told me that wasn't healthy. He said, you might as well be drinking a regular soda. It's just as bad. And when I gave up sodas, gave them up completely, guess what? That was years ago. Years ago. But weight came off and stayed off. So I guess it's all about what you want to do is what it comes down to. So, and if you have the desire to just stick to it and make a permanent, healthy lifestyle change. But so, Alexa, you were going to give us a tip with the little.
Sure.
Yes.
Would you like a recipe?
Yes.
Okay.
You have a quick and easy one?
I do. It's not my recipe. I got it from Minimalist Baker. She has a lot of good
Awesome.
vegan
Shout out.
recipes. Yes. But I cook this pretty often. What I do is I just take a couple sweet potatoes and I cut them in half, put them on a pan with some olive oil, along with some red onion, broccoli, kale, just throw it all in the oven and roast it. And then I also roast some chickpeas with it, just a can of chickpeas, drain them, rinse them, throw some cumin, salt, pepper, oregano, chili powder on there, then just toss it in a skillet with some olive oil for maybe 10 minutes.
And
you're all good.
Alexa is an excellent cook. She is. And so is Felipe. Felipe, what's my favorite thing that I like that you make?
Potatoes, the sliced potatoes.
That's it.
Bake them on bake them on the pan.
And when I go to Alexa and Felipe's home, I'm not hungry. I have no problems eating anything that is prepared. Nothing. So they're excellent cooks, truly excellent cooks. So, and
Thank you.
Lydia, I don't know if you did you want to say anything?
What would you tell someone who wants to try the vegan lifestyle? How would they go about transitioning?
I think it depends on the person. So I was able to just switch overnight, but some people, they need a more gradual process. So I would recommend just taking out one thing at a time. So maybe you stop eating chicken first, then you take out beef, then you take out cheese, and you can ease your way into it. It doesn't have to be all at once.
Okay.
That's good advice.
Yeah.
Okay. So before we close out, do Alexa and Felipe, is there anything else that you guys want to share? Is there a way you want to share? Are you guys on social media? If somebody's like, Vonda, what was that website? And I'm like, well, you gonna have, or what was that recipe? You're gonna have to ask Alexa. Right. So, anything else you guys want to share? You don't have
back
to
on the show. So
you want to come back? Oh, you want to come back on the show?
yeah,
Alexa,
let's come back on the show.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, go ahead.
This is an introductory, because every time Felipe comes on, I'm learning something new. Because I don't.
I know, right?
So yeah. Anyway,
I want to thank both of you for coming on, and I need to shout out a business. I want to shout out Red Level Car Wash and Detailing. They are located in Newcastle, Delaware, and you can find them on Facebook and on Instagram at Red Level Car Wash. And the reason I'm shouting them out is because they are a minority-owned business. And in order for me to get my tags, I had to get my Florida tint removed from my 2 front windows. And they did an outstanding job. It was very affordable and it was very fast. My windows weren't scratched or anything. So, and I'm going to go back and have them detail my car. So if anybody's watching and you're near Newcastle, Delaware, please check out Red Level Car Wash and Detailing. So right now I'm gonna have Lydia to let you guys know where you can find and follow her at, and she'll tell you about our merch.
Yes. So my social media is just Lydia, Lydia, with the numbers 111 right afterwards, and all social media. And then you can find out where to get our merch at ojusttalk.net. Our merch is on there, and there's a link to our podcast. You can get a nifty shirt like this one, or you can get a different shirt, though the comeback is always greater than the setback. We have only a couple of shirts, but we're trying to get some more up by the end of this week. So keep a lookout and support if you can.
And I'm Vonda. Of course, you can find me on all social media outlets at Ovonda, OHVONDA. I want to thank everybody for their support. If there's anybody watching, you have an idea or a suggestion for a topic that you want to see me and Lydia talk about, just leave it in the comments of our YouTube channel. Please subscribe. A big thank you and shout out to all of my Twitter followers. You guys are amazing. So remember, no matter what you're going through, the comeback is always greater than the setback. Thank you, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.